Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Welcome to another episode of, well, why not? In today's episode we're going to talk about SRVs and SRV Racing and what added gameplay that could be brought to the game should Frontier Development decide to bring SRV Racing into Elite Dangerous in a formal manner. Let's take a look and have a think about this. Welcome back, Commanders, and welcome back to another episode of Why Not in Elite Dangerous. Today we turn our attention to the SRV, or Surface Reconnaissance Vehicle. They come in two flavours. The first original SRV that we had in Horizons, which is the Scarab, the Vodal Scarab. And now we have the Scorpion, the more tank-like, militaristic SRV as well. Both have their benefits, both have their downfalls. Both are utility vehicles for some state and play in the game, and there's an awful lot of versatility that can be attributed to both of these vehicles. They allow players to explore planetary surfaces, engage in various activities, whether that be exploration, cargo collection or combat, and where, primarily the SRV's function is utilitarian, a dedicated community of players has emerged and has been in game for quite some time that transform the SRV into a racing platform. The SRVs can't currently in game be engineered, so it's down to the skill of the actual commander, that thrill of navigating treacherous terrain, or perhaps even surface settlements or surface installations that have a sort of city-like edge to it and have roadways. The thrill of this navigating treacherous terrain and cities and stuff like that, to be fair, combined with the challenge of mastering the SRV's handling, has drawn players from all over the game, and SRV racing is indeed growing. Now, the benefits of in-game SRV racing, whether you use the Vodal Scorpion or whether you use the Scarab. Increased engagement. Now, SRV racing could provide fresh and exciting ways for players to interact, much like what we've seen with players coming together to attack the Thargoid Titans and to do community goals, sort of thing. Why can't there be an entrance into an SRV race, with Frontier dedicating certain worlds with inbuilt tracks on them? If one of the new features we're going to get is going to be base building, then players could indeed build their own SRV racing tracks as part of a base, drawing in additional commanders to their base to spend their commodities, trade and repair their ships, and also their SRVs, because there's going to be a bit of damage as well. This can bring in added value and added income to the base if commanders were able to participate. It would offer a new challenge for both veteran and new players alike, and I believe it would be a great addition to the game. As I mentioned with community building, a dedicated racing mode could foster a stronger sense of community within the game. Players could form teams, squadrons could compete in leagues and participate in community events. Now, this enhanced gameplay could be introduced in mechanics that already exist in game. Each one of the SRVs are armed with either heavier weaponry, missiles and the such with the Scorpion, or the traditional laser turret that we get on the Scarab. This could bring in a sort of a Death Chase 2000 element to the game, for want of a better word. This would then also keep the gameplay fresh and engaging, having people in their own tournaments, practicing, honing their skills. And then you put other obstacles in there like additional power-ups for speed, a bit like Mario Kart, which we don't really want it to be like, but you get what I'm saying. We've seen this sort of like additional boost you get in the training mode when learning to fly your ships. Obstacles, time trials, and that would indeed give, people that extra benefit. We've seen this aspect in other games, such as Star Citizen, where you can go through certain tracks in space, and we also get it, like I say, as part of the training method and how you learn to fly your ships as a new commander. So the economic opportunities for this, the end developers could introduce new rewards such as unique skins, racing contracts, exclusive items to incentivize participation, and also have an in-game league with, say, rewards around materials, ship kits, for example, for the SRVs to make them a little bit more streamlined, a spoiler for want of a better word. So the challenges and considerations of having SRV racing formerly in Elite Dangerous, and while the introduction of SRV racing would undoubtedly be exciting, we've got to consider a few things. The balancing. To ensure that SRV racing is balanced and enjoyable for all players of all skill levels would be crucial. At the moment you can't engineer, like I mentioned, your SRV. However, what if you could? Now that would be something, wouldn't it? What about careful track design as well? A huge balance. If you put that in the hand of the players, you could have monstrous tracks, and how would the game's engine put up with that, and also servers on the back end? Something to be mindful of. And also player interest. Now, while the SRV racing community is quite passionate in what it does, it's essential to gauge the broader player base's interest in this feature. It would be an added bonus, and a successful implementation would require a significant number of players to participate on a regular basis. And we do see a lot of participation in regards to community goals, so the incentiveness of this is going to be crucial. So what about potential competitions and leaderboards? To enhance that SRV racing experience, developers, Fdev, are you listening, could introduce time trials. Players could compete against the clock on specific tracks, attempting to set the fastest time and get their name in the game for that additional level of accolade. There's elimination races, a series of races where the slowest players are eliminated after each round, accumulating in a final showdown between those top competitors. And of course, traditional leaderboards. A global leaderboard could track the fastest lap times per track and overall race wins, encouraging players to strive for excellence. We've seen something very similar in the player v player aspect of Elite Dangerous, with not a lot of people actually play, but perhaps they've gauged it wrong. Perhaps it's not about ships, perhaps it is about the SRV. It's something I think to consider. And if Frontier Developments did potentially consider these factors and address the potential challenges, and in the introduction of SRV racing in Elite Dangerous, I believe this could significantly enhance the game's appeal, especially, like I say, if it was bolted on with base building, allowing players to add that extra level of, I don't know, customization inside the game. Who knows? Just an idea. What do you think? Personally, SRV racing in Elite Dangerous, why not? Anyway, I've been Ricardo. Thanks very much for watching and listening. Let me know in the comments what you think about SRV racing. Be interesting to see. I'll speak to you soon.